introducing the therapeutic relationship beyond clinical settings. When most of us hear the word therapy, a very specific image often comes to mind. A quiet office, perhaps a comfortable couch, and a licensed professional guiding a conversation. We imagine a dedicated space where complex emotions are carefully unraveled and deep-seated issues are brought to light. This formal setting is incredibly valuable, offering a unique kind of support and insight that many find essential for their well-being. It provides a structured environment for self-discovery, where a trained expert helps navigate the often confusing landscape of our inner lives. Yet, the true power of a therapeutic relationship, the very essence of what makes it healing, extends far beyond these clinical walls. It's a concept much broader than appointment times and professional credentials. This book invites us to explore how these vital connections exist in our everyday lives, often without us even realizing it. We will uncover the profound impact of simply being truly heard and understood. At its core, a therapeutic relationship is built on a few fundamental human needs: the need to be seen, to be heard, and to be understood without judgment. It's about creating a safe space where honesty is welcomed and vulnerability is met with empathy rather than criticism. Think about the feeling of finally sharing a heavy burden with someone who doesn't try to fix it, but simply listens with an open heart. That moment of relief, that sense of connection, is a glimpse into the therapeutic experience. It doesn't require a psychology degree or a fancy title to offer such a gift to another person. Instead, it relies on our innate human capacity for compassion and genuine concern. This kind of relationship is less about diagnosis and more about authentic human connection. It reminds us that our shared humanity is a powerful force for healing. Consider the conversations you have with a trusted friend after a tough day, or the quiet understanding shared with a family member during a difficult time. These interactions, while informal, often carry the same weight and offer similar comfort as a session with a professional. When a friend truly listens to your frustrations about school or a breakup, offering a nod of understanding instead of immediate advice, they are engaging in a deeply therapeutic act. They are validating your feelings and creating a space for you to process your own thoughts. These are not just casual chats. They are moments of profound human connection that help us feel less alone and more resilient. The genuine care and presence offered in these moments can be incredibly restorative. They remind us that support comes in many forms, not just the ones we typically expect. The power of a therapeutic relationship, whether formal or informal, lies in its ability to foster growth and change. It's about having someone witness your journey, celebrate your small victories, and stand by you through your challenges. This kind of unwavering support helps us build confidence and navigate life's inevitable ups and downs with greater strength. It teaches us that our feelings are valid and that asking for help is a sign of courage, not weakness. When we feel truly supported, we become more open to exploring new perspectives and making positive changes in our lives. This supportive presence acts as a catalyst, encouraging us to step outside our comfort zones and embrace personal evolution. It's a testament to how human connection fuels our capacity to grow. So, how do we begin to recognize these therapeutic connections outside of the therapist's office? It starts with a shift in perspective, moving away from rigid definitions and embracing a broader understanding of support. Look for the people in your life who make you feel safe enough to be yourself, flaws and all. Notice those who listen more than they speak and who respond with empathy rather than judgment. These individuals, whether they are friends, mentors, teachers, or even community leaders, are often providing a kind of therapeutic presence. Their willingness to simply be there, to hold space for your experiences, is invaluable. This recognition helps us appreciate the diverse sources of healing and connection that already exist around us. It's about seeing the extraordinary in the ordinary moments of care. This book aims to gently guide you toward identifying and cultivating these essential relationships, both for yourself and for others. It's about understanding that we all have the capacity to offer and receive this kind of healing connection. You don't need years of training to be a good listener or to offer a kind, non-judgmental ear to someone in need. What you do need is a willingness to be present, to empathize, and to simply care. By embracing these qualities, we can transform our everyday interactions into opportunities for profound support and growth. We can become agents of healing in our own communities, fostering a deeper sense of connection among us all. This journey begins with recognizing the inherent power we each hold to uplift one another. Imagine a world where the principles of a therapeutic relationship, active listening, empathy, and non-judgment, were more widely practiced in our daily lives. How might our communities change? How might our relationships with family and friends deepen? The impact would be immense, creating a ripple effect of understanding and compassion. This isn't about turning everyone into a therapist, but rather about integrating these powerful relational skills into how we interact with the world. It's about fostering an environment where people feel safe to share their authentic selves, knowing they will be met with acceptance. Such a shift would undoubtedly lead to stronger bonds and a greater sense of collective well-being. It's a vision of a more connected and supportive human experience. Often, the most profound healing doesn't come from being told what to do, but from being given the space to figure things out for ourselves, with someone supportive by our side. A good therapeutic relationship, regardless of its context, offers this invaluable space. It's a place where you can explore your thoughts and feelings out loud, testing ideas and processing emotions, knowing that you won't be interrupted or dismissed. This kind of interaction empowers individuals to find their own solutions and build their own resilience. It respects their autonomy and trusts in their inner wisdom to navigate challenges. This gentle guidance, rather than direct instruction, is often the most effective path to lasting change. It underscores the importance of self-discovery within a supportive framework. The concept of the therapeutic relationship, when viewed through this broader lens, becomes a powerful tool for understanding human connection itself. It highlights that we are all, in various capacities, both givers and receivers of support. We all have moments when we need someone to listen, and we all have the capacity to offer that listening ear to others. This shared human experience of needing and offering care is what binds us together. It reminds us that vulnerability is not a weakness, but a gateway to deeper connection and understanding. By recognizing this shared journey, we can foster more authentic and meaningful relationships in every aspect of our lives. It emphasizes our interconnectedness and mutual reliance. This book will delve into how these informal therapeutic connections can sometimes be even more accessible and immediate than formal therapy. While professional help is crucial for many specific challenges, the day-to-day moments of support from our personal networks provide a constant source of strength. These are the spontaneous acts of kindness, the unexpected conversations, and the quiet moments of solidarity that sustain us. They are the threads that weave together the fabric of our emotional well-being, offering comfort and perspective when we need it most. Learning to value and nurture these relationships is a key step toward a more fulfilling and resilient life. It's about tapping into the healing power that resides within our existing bonds. By expanding our understanding of what a therapeutic relationship truly means, we open ourselves up to a world of greater empathy and connection. We begin to see opportunities for healing, not just in designated settings, but in every interaction where genuine care is exchanged. This shift encourages us to be more intentional in how we listen, how we support, and how we show up for one another. It empowers us to be more present and more compassionate in our daily lives. Ultimately, this perspective helps us build a more supportive and understanding world, one conversation, one connection at a time. It's about recognizing the profound impact of simple human kindness. This journey into the broader meaning of therapeutic relationships is not about diminishing the importance of professional therapy. Rather, it's about amplifying the power of human connection in all its forms. It's about recognizing that the core ingredients of healing, empathy, active listening, and non-judgment, are not exclusive to a particular profession. These are universal human virtues that we can all cultivate and share. We will explore how these qualities can transform our personal relationships, our workplaces, and our communities. Understanding this broader context prepares us to delve deeper into the universal nature of vulnerability, which is the cornerstone of all meaningful connections. It sets the stage for discovering how we can all become better listeners and more supportive presences in each other's lives. Exploring vulnerability as a universal human experience. We often hear the word vulnerability and picture someone fragile, perhaps on the verge of tears or admitting a deep secret. This common image makes many of us shy away from it, associating it with weakness or a lack of control. But what if we've misunderstood vulnerability entirely, seeing it as a flaw rather than a fundamental part of our shared human experience? True vulnerability isn't about being weak, it's about being real, acknowledging the parts of ourselves that feel exposed. It's the quiet courage to show up as we are, imperfections and all, even when it feels a little scary. This perspective shifts vulnerability from a personal failing to a universal truth, something that binds us all together. Understanding this distinction is the first step toward embracing a more authentic and connected life. Let's explore how this often feared trait actually connects us more deeply than we realize. Think about your own life, not just the big, dramatic moments, but the small, everyday instances where you might have felt a flicker of vulnerability. It could be the moment you asked for help with something you felt you should know, or when you shared an idea in a meeting that felt a bit out there. Maybe it was the quiet admission to a friend that you were struggling with something, even though you usually project an image of strength. These aren't grand confessions, yet each one carries a hint of exposure, a moment where we step outside our comfort zone. They are tiny acts of courage, revealing a piece of our inner world to another person, or even just to ourselves. These smaller moments are just as vital in understanding vulnerability as the larger, more obvious ones we tend to focus on. They show us that vulnerability is woven into the fabric of our daily interactions and inner thoughts. Consider the simple act of trying something new, like learning a musical instrument or picking up a new hobby. In those initial clumsy attempts, we are inherently vulnerable, risking failure and looking silly. We are putting ourselves in a position where we are not yet competent, where our efforts might not be perfect. Or imagine admitting a mistake at work, even a small one, and facing the potential judgment of colleagues or a boss. These situations require us to drop our guard, to let go of the need to appear flawless or always in control. It is in these moments of uncertainty and openness that we truly experience the essence of being human. Such experiences are not unique to a few. They are part of everyone's journey, from the student to the CEO. For generations, society has often subtly, or sometimes not so subtly, taught us to mask these feelings of exposure. We're encouraged to be strong, suck it up, or put on a brave face, as if showing any sign of struggle is a defect. This cultural conditioning creates a powerful internal pressure to hide our true selves, to present a polished and vulnerable exterior to the world. We build walls around our insecurities, fearing that if anyone sees the real us, they might reject us or think less of us. This constant effort to maintain an illusion of perfection is exhausting, and ironically, it often leads to a profound sense of isolation. When we believe we are the only ones struggling, we feel disconnected from others, even when they are experiencing similar feelings. Yet, beneath these carefully constructed facades, a shared current of human experience runs deep. Every single person, regardless of their background, achievements, or outward confidence, has felt the sting of fear, the ache of uncertainty, or the quiet whisper of doubt. We all grapple with moments where we feel out of our depth, where we question our abilities, or where we simply don't have all the answers. This isn't a sign of weakness. It's a testament to the complex, ever-evolving nature of being alive. To deny these feelings in ourselves is to deny a fundamental aspect of our humanity, a part that connects us to every other person on this planet. It's a secret language spoken by every heart, often unheard but always present. The fear that often accompanies vulnerability is powerful and deeply ingrained. We worry about being judged, about our flaws being exposed, or about facing rejection if we reveal too much of ourselves. This fear is a natural human response, a protective mechanism that has served us in various ways throughout history. It tells us to be cautious, to guard our hearts, and to avoid potential pain. However, When this fear becomes overwhelming, it can prevent us from forming meaningful connections and experiencing true intimacy. It keeps us trapped in a cycle of isolation, constantly performing for an audience that may not even exist. Learning to sit with this fear, rather than running from it, is a crucial step toward genuine self-discovery. It's important to recognize that this fear is not a personal failing unique to you. It's a shared human experience. Everyone, at some point, has felt that knot of anxiety in their stomach before opening up, or the hesitation before taking a risk. This shared commonality means that when you feel vulnerable, you are not alone in that feeling. It means that the person next to you, the stranger across the room, or even the most confident individual you know, has likely navigated similar emotional terrain. Understanding this can be incredibly liberating, shifting the burden of perceived inadequacy. It transforms vulnerability from a lonely struggle into a universal pathway for empathy and mutual understanding. Paradoxically, it is in acknowledging our vulnerability that we often discover a profound source of strength. When we stop pretending to be invincible, we free up immense energy that was previously spent on maintaining a perfect image. This newfound energy can then be channeled into genuine growth, self-compassion, and authentic connection with others. Embracing vulnerability means accepting that we are imperfect, that we will make mistakes, and that we don't always have to have it all together. It's a powerful act of self-acceptance that allows us to move through the world with more ease and honesty. This isn't about giving up. It's about truly showing up. When we choose to open up, even in small ways, we create space for others to do the same. Imagine a conversation where one person shares a genuine struggle, not to complain, but to simply acknowledge their human experience. This act often invites the other person to drop their own guard, fostering a deeper, more meaningful connection. It's like a silent invitation, a signal that it's safe to be real, to shed the masks we so often wear. These moments of shared vulnerability are the building blocks of true intimacy, whether in friendships, romantic relationships, or even professional collaborations. They remind us that we are all navigating similar waters, just in different boats. This brings us to the core idea. Our struggles are far more universal than we often allow ourselves to believe. The anxieties about the future, the grief over loss, the fear of not being enough, these are not isolated experiences. They are threads woven through the tapestry of human existence, connecting us across cultures, generations, and social divides. When we recognize our own vulnerability, we begin to see it mirrored in the eyes of others, even those we perceive as strong or untouchable. This recognition breaks down barriers, fostering a sense of shared humanity that is both comforting and empowering. We realize that our unique stories are part of a much larger collective narrative. Seeing vulnerability in others, especially those we look up to or perceive as strong, can be incredibly validating. It makes us feel less alone in our own moments of doubt and uncertainty. When a leader admits they don't have all the answers, or a friend shares a personal challenge they're facing, it humanizes them in a powerful way. It reminds us that behind every polished exterior, there's a living, breathing person grappling with life's complexities, just like us. This shared understanding creates a deeper bond, transforming perceived differences into shared common ground. It's a comforting realization that we are all in this human journey together, stumbling and learning along the way. There's a persistent myth that some people are simply immune to vulnerability, that they possess an inherent strength that shields them from doubt or fear. We often project this idea onto public figures, successful professionals, or even our own friends who seem to have it all together. This myth is damaging because it sets an impossible standard, making those who struggle feel even more isolated and inadequate. It implies that certain individuals are somehow better or more evolved, when in reality, everyone experiences moments of fragility. No amount of success, status, or perceived control can truly insulate a person from the fundamental human condition of vulnerability. It is an inherent part of our being, not a flaw to be overcome. Even those who dedicate their lives to helping others navigate their emotional landscapes, like mental health professionals, are not exempt from this universal experience. They, too, face their own moments of self-doubt, personal challenges, and the weight of their own human limitations. A therapist, for instance, might experience vulnerability when they feel unsure how to best support a client, or when they face personal grief and must still show up for their work. These moments are not signs of professional weakness, but rather a testament to their shared humanity. It highlights that the journey of understanding and growing is lifelong, for everyone, regardless of their role or expertise. Their struggles, while perhaps different in context, echo the same human themes we all encounter. Ultimately, vulnerability isn't a choice we make to be vulnerable in a given moment. It's a recognition of our inherent human condition. We are born vulnerable, dependent on others, and throughout our lives, we remain susceptible to change, loss, and the unpredictable nature of existence. It's not about actively seeking out pain or exposure, but rather acknowledging the reality that these experiences are a part of life. Embracing this truth allows us to live with more authenticity and less resistance to what is. It's about accepting the full spectrum of our emotions and experiences, rather than trying to selectively filter them. When we allow ourselves to truly explore vulnerability as a universal human experience, we unlock a powerful pathway to authentic living and deeper connection. It's a reminder that our shared humanity is far more profound than our individual differences. This understanding encourages us to approach ourselves and others with greater empathy, compassion, and acceptance. It teaches us that the very things we often try to hide, our fears, our uncertainties, our imperfect selves, are precisely what make us relatable and capable of genuine love and connection. This journey into vulnerability isn't just about self-improvement. It's about rediscovering our place within the vast, interconnected web of human experience. Embracing this shared human trait is more than just a concept. It's the first step towards meaningful change in our lives and in our relationships. It allows us to move beyond superficial interactions and into spaces of genuine understanding and mutual support. When we recognize that vulnerability is a bridge, not a barrier, we can begin to build stronger, more resilient connections with those around us. This perspective empowers us to navigate life's inevitable challenges with a sense of shared purpose, knowing that we are not alone in our struggles or our triumphs. It's a call to listen, to connect, and to find strength in our collective humanity. The myth of the unaffected expert. Experts' own struggles. It's easy to picture the expert as someone who floats above the messy realities of life, untouched by the very struggles they help others navigate. We often imagine them as perfectly composed, always knowing the right thing to say, and somehow immune to the anxieties, heartbreaks, and doubts that plague the rest of us. This perception creates a sense of safety, a comforting thought that someone out there has it all figured out, and perhaps they can teach us how to do the same. We project an image of unwavering strength onto these figures, believing their professional title somehow grants them a shield against personal turmoil. This idealization can make their advice seem more potent, their presence more reassuring, and their understanding almost superhuman, setting them apart in a way that feels both aspirational and deeply intimidating. Yet this image, as comforting as it might be, is nothing more than a carefully constructed myth, a phantom of perfection that does a disservice to everyone involved. The idea that mental health professionals or any experts are somehow immune to the human condition is a dangerous fantasy, one that fosters isolation and misunderstanding. It suggests that vulnerability is a sign of weakness, even for those whose very profession is built on exploring and healing it. This myth creates an invisible barrier, preventing us from truly connecting with the shared humanity that underpins all growth and change. It sets an unrealistic standard, not just for the experts themselves, but for anyone aspiring to a life of emotional balance and resilience, implying that true expertise means never faltering. This myth doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It's often born from a combination of professional boundaries and our own deep-seated desire for unwavering guidance. Therapists are trained to maintain a professional distance, to focus on the client's needs, and to create a safe space free from their own personal baggage. This necessary structure can inadvertently contribute to the perception of an unaffected expert, someone whose life seems perfectly ordered and free from the chaos they help others untangle. We want our healers to be strong, to be pillars of wisdom, And sometimes that desire leads us to believe they exist on a different plane altogether. The very nature of the therapeutic setting, with its focus solely on the client, can inadvertently obscure the therapist's own human experience. The truth, however, is far more complex and ultimately far more empowering. Experts are simply people, flesh and blood individuals navigating the same intricate maze of life as everyone else. They wake up with worries, they face unexpected challenges, and they grapple with their own internal landscapes, just like you and me. Their professional training equips them with tools and knowledge, but it doesn't erase their fundamental humanity. They too experience moments of self-doubt, moments of profound sadness, and moments where life feels overwhelming. This shared experience is not a flaw. It is the very foundation upon which genuine empathy and understanding are built, allowing them to truly meet us where we are. Think about it. The human experience is universal. Experts experience the crushing weight of grief when they lose a loved one, the gnawing anxiety of financial stress, or the heartache of a broken relationship. They might struggle with imposter syndrome, wondering if they're truly good enough, or face the exhaustion that comes with balancing work and family life. These aren't abstract concepts to them. They are lived realities, felt with the same intensity as anyone else. They might navigate personal health scares, deal with difficult family dynamics, or simply grapple with the everyday frustrations that can chip away at anyone's peace of mind. Their struggles are often hidden behind a professional veneer, but they are undeniably present and deeply felt. In fact, these very personal experiences, far from disqualifying them, often deepen an expert's capacity for empathy and understanding. When a therapist has personally navigated their own period of intense anxiety, they don't just understand the clinical definition. They understand the tight chest, the racing thoughts, the sleepless nights. Their own journey through similar challenges provides a profound wellspring of compassion and insight that textbooks alone cannot offer. This lived wisdom allows them to connect on a more authentic level, to truly hear the unspoken fears and hopes of those sitting across from them. It transforms theoretical knowledge into deeply felt, practical wisdom. Despite this, experts often feel an immense internal pressure to uphold the myth of the unaffected professional, to present a facade of unwavering strength and perfect equilibrium. There's a quiet expectation, both from society and often from within themselves, that they must always be the calm, collected one, the one with all the answers. This pressure can be a heavy burden, forcing them to compartmentalize their own pain and struggles, to push them aside in service of their clients. They might fear that revealing any personal vulnerability would undermine their credibility or shake the trust their clients place in them. It's a lonely tightrope walk, attempting to be both human and superhuman at the same time, maintaining an image that feels increasingly unsustainable. This constant need to maintain a perfect facade ultimately creates a profound sense of isolation, affecting both the expert and those they serve. For the expert, it means carrying their own burdens in silence, unable to fully share their vulnerabilities without fear of professional judgment. For clients, it can foster a belief that their problems are unique or somehow more severe because their therapist seems so together. This distance can unintentionally reinforce feelings of shame, making it harder for clients to fully embrace their own imperfections if their guide appears to have none. It perpetuates a false dichotomy, suggesting that healing means achieving an impossible state of flawlessness rather than finding strength within our very human imperfections. Breaking down this myth, recognizing the shared humanity of both expert and seeker, is a crucial step toward normalizing the entire human experience. When we understand that even those who dedicate their lives to helping others struggle, it validates our own difficulties and makes us feel less alone. It reframes vulnerability not as a weakness to be hidden, but as a universal thread that connects us all. This acknowledgement creates a more compassionate space where imperfections are understood as part of the journey, not as roadblocks. It opens the door for a deeper, more authentic connection, fostering a sense of solidarity rather than an insurmountable gap between helper and helped. Consider the pervasive issue of burnout within the helping professions. It stands as a stark testament to the very real human toll these roles can take. Therapists, doctors, nurses, and social workers often dedicate themselves so completely to the well-being of others that they neglect their own, leading to emotional exhaustion, cynicism, and a reduced sense of personal accomplishment. This isn't a sign of professional failure. It's a clear indicator that these individuals are deeply invested, deeply empathetic, and deeply human. Their capacity to feel and absorb the pain of others, while a professional asset, also makes them susceptible to the universal experience of emotional depletion. Burnout reveals the myth of the unaffected expert for what it truly is, a dangerous and unsustainable expectation. It's also important to remember that many experts, particularly therapists, regularly seek their own therapy or engage in ongoing supervision. This isn't a sign of personal weakness or professional inadequacy. It's a profound demonstration of their commitment to growth, self-awareness, and ethical practice. They understand, perhaps better than anyone, the value of having a safe space to process their own experiences, to gain perspective, and to continue their personal development. Engaging in their own therapeutic journey allows them to hone their skills, manage their own emotional landscape, and maintain the very empathy they offer to others. It shows a dedication to lifelong learning and a humble recognition of their own ongoing human process, modeling the very behavior they encourage in their clients. These personal challenges, when processed and understood, can actually deepen a therapist's insight into the nuanced pain of their clients. A therapist who has navigated the labyrinth of family conflict, for instance, can approach a client's similar struggles with a richer, more textured understanding than someone who has only read about it in a textbook. Their lived experience provides a unique lens, allowing them to perceive subtle emotional currents and unspoken anxieties that might otherwise be missed. This isn't about sharing their own story excessively, but about the profound, unspoken empathy that arises from having walked a similar path. It infuses their guidance with a warmth and authenticity that is truly invaluable, transforming clinical knowledge into profound wisdom. Acknowledging one's own vulnerability, especially in a professional context, requires immense courage. For an expert, it means consciously choosing to step down from the pedestal of assumed perfection and stand firmly on the ground of shared humanity. It means accepting that being a guide doesn't equate to being flawless, but rather to being deeply committed to the journey of growth, both for themselves and for others. This act of self-acceptance is not only liberating for the expert, but also profoundly inspiring for those they help. It models a powerful lesson. True strength lies not in the absence of struggle, but in the willingness to acknowledge and navigate it with grace and honesty. When experts embrace their own humanity, it fosters a more authentic and trusting therapeutic relationship, one built on mutual understanding rather than an imagined power dynamic. Clients feel safer to be vulnerable, when they sense that their therapist truly understands the depth of human struggle, not just intellectually, but experientially. This shared ground creates a powerful connection, a bridge forged by the universal truths of being human. It transforms the clinical setting into a space of genuine encounter, where both individuals, in their own roles, contribute to a process of profound healing and growth. This shared vulnerability becomes a cornerstone of trust, allowing for deeper exploration and more meaningful change. The ultimate message woven through this understanding is a simple yet profound one. Everyone, without exception, is a work in progress. Healing isn't a destination where all struggles magically disappear. It's an ongoing journey of learning, adapting, and growing. This includes the most seasoned experts who continue to evolve, reflect, and seek their own forms of support and wisdom. They are not static beacons of perfection, but dynamic individuals on their own paths of self-discovery, just like the rest of us. This perspective frees us from the impossible burden of trying to be fixed and instead invites us to embrace the continuous unfolding nature of our lives. In the end, recognizing the myth of the unaffected expert isn't about diminishing their expertise or their vital role. It's about enriching our understanding of the human condition itself. It's about recognizing that the capacity to heal and grow resides not in a pristine, untouchable state, but within the very fabric of our shared vulnerabilities. This awareness builds a powerful bridge, connecting us all in a tapestry of common experience, where empathy flows freely and true connection can flourish. It reminds us that our shared humanity is the most potent force for understanding and transformation, making both the process of seeking and offering help more profound and genuinely human. Bridging the gap, shared humanity in healing and seeking. After exploring the idea that even those who offer healing carry their own burdens, we arrive at a crucial understanding. The space between the healer and the seeker is not an unbridgeable chasm, but a shared landscape. This realization that neither party is immune to life's complexities forms the bedrock of genuine connection. It's where the clinical distance dissolves and something far more profound begins to emerge. We start to see that the very struggles we bring to the couch are often echoes of experiences the person across from us has also navigated, perhaps in different forms, but with similar human emotions. This isn't about blurring professional lines, but about acknowledging an undeniable truth. It's about recognizing that the human condition is a universal experience, tying us all together in unexpected ways. This shared ground is where true empathy takes root and flourishes. It's the foundation upon which authentic healing can truly be built. Behind every professional title and every carefully chosen word, the therapist remains a human being, just like anyone else. They have felt the sting of disappointment, the warmth of love, the ache of grief, and the quiet hum of anxiety. These personal experiences, rather than disqualifying them, often deepen their capacity for understanding and compassion. They don't just intellectualize your pain, they can often tap into a reservoir of their own lived feelings. This human element is not a flaw in their expertise, but rather an integral part of it. It shapes their perspective and enriches their ability to connect authentically. The person guiding you through your darkest moments has likely faced their own shadows, making them a more grounded and relatable presence. This shared humanity makes the therapeutic journey less intimidating and more like a collaborative exploration. Many of us walk into a therapy office with a preconceived notion of the therapist as an almost mythical figure, someone who possesses all the answers and remains untouched by life's messiness. We might imagine them as perfectly composed, always rational, and utterly free from the very struggles we bring to them. This perception, while understandable, can inadvertently create a subtle barrier, making us feel even more isolated in our unique challenges. It reinforces the idea that our problems are somehow beyond the scope of normal human experience. We might hold back, fearing judgment or believing our issues are too complex for anyone, especially an expert, to truly grasp. This initial idealization, however, often obscures the powerful truth of shared vulnerability that lies beneath the surface. It prevents us from fully embracing the human connection available in the room. The moment we begin to dismantle this us versus them mentality, a significant shift occurs in the therapeutic dynamic. It's not about the therapist revealing their entire life story, but about the seeker sensing an unspoken understanding, a resonance that transcends words. This recognition that the person offering guidance also navigates the complex currents of life can be incredibly liberating. The wall of perceived perfection starts to crumble, replaced by a sense of shared journey. You realize you're not speaking to an emotionless expert, but to another human being who truly gets it, even if their specific experiences differ. This subtle but profound connection transforms the clinical setting into a space of genuine human encounter. It fosters a sense of belonging and mutual respect, paving the way for deeper, more meaningful work. True empathy rarely springs solely from academic knowledge. It often blossoms from a deep well of shared human experience. A therapist might not have walked your exact path or faced your precise set of circumstances, but they understand the universal threads of emotion that weave through every human story. They know what it feels like to struggle with self-doubt, to mourn a loss, to feel overwhelmed by anxiety, or to yearn for connection. This understanding isn't just theoretical. It's often rooted in their own encounters with life's profound joys and inevitable sorrows. This resonance allows them to sit with your pain, not as an observer, but as someone who comprehends the weight of it. It's this profound human connection, born from shared understanding, that allows for the most impactful and compassionate healing to occur. It's a connection that speaks without needing to articulate every detail. While the roles in therapy are distinct and boundaries are essential, vulnerability itself, in the broader tapestry of human existence, is never a one-way street. The therapist's ability to hold space for profound discomfort, to listen without judgment, and to offer genuine compassion stems from their own journey of facing life's complexities. They have, at various points, likely confronted their own fears, uncertainties, and moments of profound growth. This internal work allows them to be present and grounded, creating a container where the seeker feels safe enough to explore their own vulnerabilities. It's not about reciprocal sharing in the session, but about the therapist drawing upon their own humanity to meet the client where they are. This deep understanding of vulnerability allows them to guide others with both wisdom and heart. It's a testament to the power of shared human experience. When a seeker senses this shared human ground, a profound and often surprising wave of relief can wash over them. The heavy burden of feeling uniquely flawed or broken begins to lighten. They realize their struggles are not isolated failures, but rather common threads in the vast and intricate tapestry of human existence. This realization can significantly diminish feelings of shame and isolation, which are often the most crippling aspects of mental health challenges. It creates a safer, more open space where they can truly be themselves, without the fear of being seen as other, or fundamentally different. This newfound sea of belonging allows them to breathe more freely and to explore their inner world with greater courage. It's a powerful shift from feeling utterly alone to recognizing a shared journey. This recognition of shared humanity isn't just comforting, it's a powerful catalyst for strengthening the therapeutic alliance itself. When trust and rapport are built upon this foundation of mutual understanding, the relationship becomes incredibly robust. The seeker feels less like a case to be analyzed and more like a valued collaborator in their own healing journey. This collaborative spirit empowers them to take ownership of their process, knowing they have a genuine partner walking alongside them. The alliance transforms into a dynamic partnership where both individuals are invested in the outcome. It fosters an environment where honesty, openness, and genuine connection can thrive. This deep alliance becomes a secure base from which to explore difficult emotions and make meaningful changes. Moving beyond the confines of clinical jargon allows the conversation to transcend mere symptoms and diagnoses, shifting into the rich, nuanced realm of lived human experience. Instead of meticulously dissecting anxiety disorders, we begin to speak of the gnawing worry that keeps us awake at night, the fear of uncertainty, or the quiet desperation for control. This shift humanizes the experience, making it relatable and accessible. It transforms abstract concepts into tangible feelings, allowing for a deeper emotional connection between therapist and client. The focus moves from fixing a broken part to understanding a struggling person. This more organic, less sterile approach makes the healing process feel profoundly authentic. It's about acknowledging the real, messy, beautiful complexity of being human. From the therapist's perspective, this embrace of shared humanity offers its own quiet strength and profound validation. It serves as a powerful antidote to the professional isolation that can sometimes creep into the demanding work of supporting others through their darkest moments. Knowing that their own struggles and growth have informed their capacity for compassion, rather than detracting from it, can be deeply affirming. It allows them to view their personal journey not as something to be hidden, but as a rich source of understanding and empathy. This perspective helps combat burnout by reminding them that they are not just clinicians, but fellow travelers on life's intricate path. It reinforces the profound privilege of bearing witness to another's journey, making the work feel more connected and less solitary. It takes immense courage for a person to sit on the couch, often for the first time, and begin to lay bare their deepest fears, regrets, and vulnerabilities. This act of opening up requires a tremendous leap of faith and an incredible willingness to be seen. Simultaneously, it demands a quiet, profound courage from the therapist who sits opposite them. This courage involves being fully present, holding space without judgment, and allowing their own humanity to resonate, even if subtly, with the raw pain and burgeoning hope in the room. It's about being truly present without needing to fix or rescue, but simply to witness and support. Both individuals are engaged in a brave act of authentic connection. This shared bravery forms an invisible bond, strengthening the fabric of the therapeutic encounter. Seen through this lens, therapy itself becomes a powerful microcosm of all healthy human connection. It serves as a living laboratory where we learn that true understanding and profound connection don't spring from an illusion of perfection, but rather from the courageous acknowledgement of our shared imperfections. It teaches us the transformative power of being witnessed in our vulnerability, flaws and all, and of witnessing another with equal compassion. This space, carefully cultivated and fiercely protected, mirrors the kind of authentic relationships we yearn for in the wider world. It demonstrates that growth happens not in isolation, but in the safe embrace of another human being who truly sees us. It's a powerful testament to the healing potential inherent in genuine human interaction. This deep understanding of shared humanity empowers the seeker in ways that extend far beyond simply resolving their immediate problems. It helps them to embrace their own inherent resilience and inner wisdom. They learn that their therapist isn't some omniscient guru with magical solutions, but a trusted guide who understands the challenging terrain of life precisely because they, too, have navigated treacherous valleys and scaled daunting mountains. This realization fosters a sense of self-agency, encouraging them to tap into their own strengths and resources. It shifts the focus from being fixed by an external expert to discovering the innate capacity for healing and growth within themselves. The journey becomes one of empowered self-discovery rather than dependent reliance. Regardless of our background, culture, or professional role, every human being speaks the universal language of emotion. Joy, sorrow, anger, fear, love, hope. These fundamental feelings form the very bedrock of our shared existence and connect us all at the deepest level. It is within this common emotional landscape that the bridge between healer and seeker is most strongly and authentically constructed. When a therapist can truly recognize the echo of their own human experience in the emotions expressed by their client, the connection becomes profoundly powerful. This shared emotional vocabulary allows for a depth of understanding that transcends words and cultural differences. It reminds us that beneath all our unique stories, we are all fundamentally feeling beings, seeking connection and understanding. In this context, the very definition of expertise expands beyond mere academic qualifications and clinical techniques. It evolves to include a profound wisdom gained not only through professional training, but also through the crucible of personal experience. It's about the deep capacity to hold space for another's pain and confusion, because one intimately understands the fragile, resilient nature of the human heart, having felt its own beats, breaks, and repairs. This kind of expertise is imbued with empathy, compassion, and a genuine understanding of the human condition. It's a wisdom that comes from living, learning, and growing, making the expert not just knowledgeable, but deeply human and relatable. This holistic view of expertise elevates the healing process. Ultimately, the journey of healing is never a passive reception of advice or a mere execution of instructions. It is an active, deeply collaborative endeavor. When both individuals in the therapeutic room, healer and seeker, recognize and honor their shared humanity, the journey becomes infinitely richer, more authentic, and profoundly transformative. It's a dance of mutual respect, understanding, and shared purpose, where each step forward is taken together. This collaboration fosters an environment where insights are co-created, challenges are faced collectively, and victories are celebrated jointly. The process moves beyond mere problem solving to a deeper, more holistic transformation. It is a testament to what can be achieved when two human beings truly connect on a path of growth. This profound understanding of our shared humanity extends far beyond the confines of the therapy room, offering valuable lessons for how we navigate all our relationships. It encourages us to approach every person we encounter, whether a colleague, a friend, a family member, or a stranger, with a deeper well of compassion and an open heart. Recognizing that everyone, regardless of their outward composure or perceived strength, is navigating their own complex and often challenging human story, fosters a greater sense of empathy in our daily actions. It reminds us to look beyond superficial differences and connect with the universal experiences that bind us. This perspective cultivates a more understanding and supportive community, enriching not just our personal lives, but the fabric of society as a whole. The lasting impact of bridging this gap between healer and seeker is not merely about resolving immediate problems or alleviating symptoms, it's about fostering a profound and enduring sense of connection. This connection extends inward, fostering deeper self-compassion and acceptance, and outward, strengthening our bonds with the broader human community. It's about realizing that we are all, in essence, fellow travelers on this intricate journey of life, stumbling sometimes, soaring at others, perpetually seeking understanding, and ultimately finding it in the shared spaces we create. This realization cultivates a sense of belonging that combats isolation and reinforces the powerful truth: we are truly all in this together, capable of both immense struggle and incredible resilience.